Hello, mathematicians. My name is Stephanie, and this is my friend Splat, the robot. We both love solving math word problems. Today, we're going to read a word problem, represent it with an equation, then choose and use a strategy to find the answer. What's that, Splat? Yes, I know there are mathematicians out there that can help us. Mathematicians, Splat is telling me that he thinks you should use your mathematical thinking to help us today. Do you want to help us solve our word problem? Okay, great. Let's check it out. Here it is. Moesha's blanket is 28 inches long. Her grandmom added some more inches of blanket. Now Moesha's blanket is 48 inches long. How many inches of blanket did her grandma add? Let's think about this story. I remember my friend Moesha telling me that her class is going on a field trip to the park. They're going to have lunch there, so Moesha's grandmother wants to give her a picnic blanket to sit on when she has lunch. But, the blanket is too short. It's only 28 inches long. Moesha doesn't think it's long enough to fit her, her friends, and their lunches. Moesha wants a bigger blanket. So, Moesha's grandma sewed on more inches of blanket. Now, Moesha's blanket is 48 inches long. How many inches of blanket did Moesha's grandma add? How can we figure this out? Mathematicians, what are you thinking? Yes, the original blanket was 28 inches. It was too small for what Moesha needed. So then Grandma added some material to make the blanket bigger. Yes, now Moesha has a blanket that's 48 inches long. Our job is to find out how many inches Moesha's grandma sewed onto the original blanket, or how many inches long this part is. What should we do to figure this out? Whisper to me what you think we should do first. I heard you say we should represent this in a bar model. A bar model is a great way to represent amounts. Great idea. Let's do it. Well, here's my bar model, but it's empty. I guess we need to put some numbers in it. Can you whisper to me what number goes in the top bar, the largest bar? Yes, that's right. The total goes in the top bar because it's the biggest bar in the model. And the total is the biggest part of an equation, isn't it? And we know our total, don't we? Moesha's blanket is now a total of 48 inches long. Well, what about these two bars on the bottom? What goes in there? I heard someone say the partners, as in the parts of the total. Yes, the parts of the total, or partners. That's right, mathematicians. But we only know one partner, or part of the total, which is 28. Representing the 28 inches of blanket she had at first. Let's put that number in our bar model. This now shows me that I have to find this missing partner, which represents the difference between 28 and 48. What, Splat? No, not that kind of a difference. When I say the difference, I mean the answer in a subtraction equation, or the number that's left after subtracting one number from another. We can think of the difference as the amount of space between two numbers, like the amount of spaces between them on the number line. Anyway, mathematicians, what's next? I heard you say that now we should write an equation that represents this bar model. Great idea. What would that equation be? Tell a friend or a trusted adult or even a stuffed animal what you think the equation should be. Oh, I heard someone say that the equation should be 28 plus blank equals 48. That will work because the blanket was 28 inches to start, some inches got added on, and now it's a total of 48 inches. What's next, mathematicians? How can I find out what number will complete our equation and represent how much was sewn on to make the bigger blanket that's now 48 inches? I heard you say that we could count up from 28 to 48 because the amount of counts it takes to get from 28 to 48 will represent the difference between the two numbers. Great idea. Let's do it. Let's count. Okay. 28, 29, 30. What? What? Why not? Why not, Splat? Oh. Splat said there's a more efficient strategy to count up from 28 to 48. Efficient means that we get our answer without wasting any time. Do you know a more efficient strategy to count from 28 to 48? Great thinking, mathematicians. I heard you say that we can skip count by tens. Did you know that when we move down one row on a 100 board while staying in the same column, that's a representation of counting on one group of 10? We can skip count forwards and backwards by tens just by moving up and down a column from any number on a hundreds board. And when we skip count, we are skipping numbers, which takes less time. Okay, here's 28. I'll move down one row, which represents one skip of 10, and that takes us here to 38. But we're not at our total yet. Let's keep going. If we skip count by 10 again, we get to 48, and that's our total. So right where we want to be. We can stop skip counting here. When we move down a row, that's 1 10. When we move down 2 rows, that's 2 10s, or 20. That tells us there are 20 numbers between 28 and 48. Now that we know the difference between 28 and 48 is 2 groups of 10, or 20, that means the missing partner is 20. Moesha's grandma sewed on an additional 20 inches of blanket to the original blanket that was 28 inches to make a total length of 48 inches. Awesome. Thanks everybody for helping me represent the word problem in a bar model and then in an equation. And thanks for using your idea of skip counting by tens to get from 28 to 48 so we could find the difference between those two amounts in an efficient way. That was so much fun. Let's hope Moesha and her friends have fun picnicking at the park. So, for our word problem today, we had to find a difference, which is the amount between two numbers. We found the difference between a total and one of its partners, which is the other partner. First, we used a bar model as a way to show the amounts we did know, the amount we didn't know, and the relationship they had to each other. Then, we set up an equation to solve for the amount we didn't know. Next, with the help of a 100 board, we skip counted from the partner we knew, 28, to the total, 48. The amount between 28 and 48 represented the missing partner. Skip counting from one partner to the total was an efficient way to find our difference. I just love solving math word problems, and I hope you do too. Well, Splat and I have to go for now, but we hope to see you again soon. Bye.